Homecoming, a big school-spirited celebration centered around a football game, typically meant to bring alumni and bring them home and unite current students with traditions. I'm not sure that's the kind of homecoming that Jackson Arnold's going to get this week when he returns to Norman, Oklahoma. Auburn, OU, opening up their SEC play. The boo in Boomer, maybe a little accented, maybe a little bit stronger this coming week. Welcome to week 4 of the midweek college football breakdown. I'm the Ant-Man. Up top, Brandon Stevens. Down below, Dalton Miller. Guys, good to see you guys again. John Mateer rolled into the link this past weekend with concern of overlooking the Owls kind of on their mind, but they put that concern away pretty early. Dalton, it seemed the previous week's mistakes were mostly cleaned up. How'd you feel about the game this week?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, we were talking early in the game. It felt like they had a business mentality on the road in Philly. And obviously, we've talked about John Mateer and what he can do well. I mean, he took care of business. He did have the one interception, which you don't like. You want cleaned up again. But, I mean, you guys might have seen today, this was the second straight week that Pittsburgh has been scouting him. They had scouts in Norman last week. So obviously being in Philadelphia this week, it's easy to get there and scout. But he's an NFL caliber quarterback, and they're noticing those things. And he's so tough. He's so tough, and you don't have to. I'm not afraid when he takes a snap. But then I also we had a 100-yard rusher, and we hadn't had that yet. And Blaylock did an incredible job with the football. He sees holes, he hits them quick, and he's just a physical runner, running dudes over. Defense obviously would have loved to see a shutout, but 42-3 on the road when you think this could potentially be a trap game after a big emotional win over Michigan, you love that from your team, because that tells me right there that they didn't care about Auburn yet. They cared about the road trip to Philly. And so I'm very pleased with how we handled that, and it's just not something we've seen in a while for OU. I mean, so I think that Brent Venables is doing a really good job with the toughness culture that they have right now.
Brandon Mateer not only being scouted by the NFL already, now in the early Heisman conversations. There's one former famous coach that would call this rat poison. How you feeling about that?
I mean, I think John Mateer is John Mateer. I mean, with this day on Saturday, 20 for 34, 282 yards, touchdown, interception. He also ran for a touchdown and had 7 carries for 63 yards, averaged 9 yards a rush, but was held to just 7 rushes. And I think it was really only called for 4. I think 3 of them were improvisations or scrambles that he took off on, which I really liked seeing, because, we talked last week about he can't run the ball 19 times a game for the whole rest of the season. I know this was Temple. He probably could have, and he may have had 200 yards rushing, but we didn't need to do that. We needed to get somebody else on the blocks ready to go. And like Dalton said, Torrey Blaylock's that guy. I don't think John Mateer is reading into any of the Heisman stuff. I honestly don't think he's worried about it. He just wants to come out and play ball. He wants to move the offense down the field with efficiency. We were efficient, 515 yards of offense, very balanced, 287 yards passing, 228 yards rushing. One thing I really like seeing, and it's kind of been a theme, is Temple only went 3 for 16 on 3-point conversions. Like, this defense came out with the "you're not moving the ball on us" mentality, and they had 105 yards of total offense. So it was great. We only gave up, We only gave up 27 yards on the ground. So, the defense is playing with their pants on fire. It does kind of suck that our Mason Thomas is going to be out for the first half against Auburn coming up next week, or this week, I guess. But it does hurt. Some other guys are going to have to step up. Somebody was talking to, on the Sports Talk today, they were talking to, was it Robert Spears Jennings, I think? No, it was Kobe McKenzie. They were talking to Kobe McKenzie, and he's like, you can bet your that he's going to come out in the second half, and we're going to hear his name a lot in the second half.
He's going to make up for the first half.
Yeah, he's going to be pissed because he had to sit the first half on what, by the letter of the law, it's targeting. but I didn't really like the call, especially given that we had one fairly similar against us before that didn't get called.
Worse.
So, I'm excited.
Do we know speaking of that, have they said anything about Lewis? He left the game. Is he concussed? Is he playing this week? What's the plan? I mean, they're going to have to release it on Wednesday, obviously.
Yeah.
Since it's an SEC game.
We don't know if it is or not, if he's out or not. We will find that out here in the coming days when the injury report or the availability report comes out. They seemed fairly confident that he would be back from listening to the radio today. But I mean, it's kind of a wait and see game at this point.
Yeah, I think that obviously you lose R. Mason Thomas and that hurts, but I feel like we have depth on the defensive side of things. So confident there. I am curious to see. I mean, I think Lewis has done an incredible job with that receiving core. Obviously, Satania has really made his mark as one of Mateer's top targets. And then there's just a toughness, though, between John Mateer, the way Blaylock runs the ball, and then, of course, Jaren Kanak. He's brought something to our offense that we haven't had since Mark Andrews, and he's actually currently on pace to have more yards in a season than Mark Andrews did, which he's on pace for just under 1,000 yards. Mark Andrews was in the low 900s. I don't know if he's going to get there or not, but the way that he runs routes, it makes you think so. The way that he runs after catch, it makes you think so. So the toughness on the offensive side of the ball is – I give a lot of credit to Jaren Kanak for that because we look a little bit different. And when we talk about, can Mateer handle the Heisman talk?
Yeah.
He obviously showed us that he can handle the hype that was given to him through the entire offseason. There was big shoes to fill because Oklahoma fans and boosters were ready for a quarterback to come in here and do something different than what Jackson Arnold wasn't able to do. And so if he couldn't have done it, this place would be going crazy over a lot of things right now. And he's calm, he's collected, and he plays just with a passion that we haven't seen a quarterback play with since 6, honestly.
Yeah, you talked about Jaren Kanak, and I don't know if you guys saw this or have realized this, but he's in the top 10 in the SEC in receiving right now.
Wow.
Think about where he'd be if he didn't fumble his first catch of his career as a tight end. Because
that was a great gain. Yeah, it was like a 40-yard gain, and then he fumbled.
Yeah.
He's playing great.
It's about this time. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dalton. Go ahead.
No, other thing that I wanted to mention on here, and this is obviously the couch coach in me that we all have when it comes to football. But was anybody else really annoyed with the fact that we didn't let Tate Sandell kick the 53-yarder after he made a 52-yarder?
Yeah, and he ends up making 2 52-yarders on the day. So
that
he could have
frustrated the heck out of me because we all know how important field goals and special teams are. Look at College Football Saturday this week.
Yeah, huge.
That was frustrating to me. I didn't understand that decision.
Well, they talked about that. They talked about that a little bit today, and it sounds like from the coaching, they just wanted to get – knowing that this game was really handled. I mean, we dominated the game. They'd act like they just really wanted to get him some live reps, but I'm with you. I'm like, no, let the guy that you're going to have kicking most of your field goals keep kicking, get in a rhythm. He's already nailed one.
When it comes down to you're already up big. Kicking a field goal is not running up the score. No. And everything, I mean, you go to the Notre Dame game, fumbled snap, Tennessee missed field goal in late game situation. It just all adds up when it comes to special teams and that entire unit. I mean, you could take one guy out and sub one guy in, and it could mess up the entire unit. So I was frustrated with that because we've missed big field goals. I mean, the last Brent Venables' first year, you and I watched us miss and lose to Baylor by 3 because our special teams couldn't hit a stinking field goal. It's just so important.
They almost act like Tate Sandell is a 5th-year senior kicking,
right?
And he needs the experience too.
And if he's already consistent and won the job, and he's proving why he deserved the job over Welch, then I'm just like, you should just let him kick, because I know in some of these big SEC games, it may come down to a 50-yarder, and we need a dude that has kicked multiple of them throughout this season.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Your comments there take us right into our first game of the good, bad, and the ugly. That being Georgia versus Tennessee. Georgia over 500 total yards. Tennessee pretty close to the same. How do you get to a place where your special teams aren't deciding games like this for you? And Dalton, I'll start with you since you brought this up.
Yeah, I mean, the answer to that question is to finish. I mean, Tennessee had Georgia a couple different times throughout this game where they wanted them. I mean, Kirby Smart, made the comment after Tennessee, they outplayed us. They deserved that game. And of course, he's probably thinking from a defensive mindset. You give up that many points on the road. How do you win the game? But the good in this game for me was Joey Aguilar, just the offensive firepower in general. 371 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Brazel the second, phenomenal. 6 catches for 177 yards, 3 touchdowns, including 2 big plays of 72 yards and 56 yards. And he made some spectacular grabs where Joey just kind of threw it up. But that's the good for me. I mean, obviously Georgia kept their composure and was able to find a way to win. So you got to find some good things in there. But this wasn't a typical Georgia game that we're used to watching.
Yeah.
I think the bad is the missed opportunities from Tennessee. I mean, you have them where you want them going into the second quarter, and your offense gets pretty complacent. You're up 21-7. You've hit on some big plays. You've been aggressive, and that's what puts you in this position. Then you've got momentum late in the game after recovering a fumble in plus territory. They're already in field goal range. There's just over 8 minutes to go. You have a 5-point lead. That's the time where you have got to put them away. Trust the fact that your quarterback is throwing for 370 yards. Trust the fact that they can't stop Brazel yet. But unfortunately they didn't. And I know they had a penalty to start that drive. They get a 5 yards back, but they went run, field goal. And I think that's the bad. Like, Heupel got conservative on that drive, up wanting to kill clock, didn't want to put them away. And I think you've got to trust the big plays that your offense was putting up. And if you're going to lose, you want to lose going out fighting. And to me, that was really more of a, we're going to play not to lose situation. And then the ugly is just the under pressure, high stakes for me. Tennessee had an opportunity when we were just talking about special teams. That's a high stakes opportunity. And you've got to find ways in those moments to win in the SEC. That's what's going to decide a championship team in the SEC versus a team that was really, really close. I thought that the stadium was pretty deflated after the strip sack, because everybody could kind of feel the momentum dropping when you went run after you've thrown for almost 400 yards in a game. Right. And not that your run game not that you can't run, but you deflated that entire stadium. And then on the very last drive, you started off with another penalty like they did after the strip sack. And it just puts them back even further. Not a lot of confidence in your unit there. I just think that the way they lost the game is the ugly. And Josh Heupel, I would have thought, learned something from being aggressive after he went to the shoe last year, because when Ohio State got up early, Ohio State acted like it was 0-0 still, and they continued to attack Tennessee. And so that's kind of my thoughts on the Tennessee game. More on Tennessee than it is Georgia, but
good, bad, and ugly from the Georgia-Tennessee for you, Brandon.
I mean, the good for me is obviously Joey Aguilar. I mean, 370 yards passing, 4 touchdowns through the air, had a rushing touchdown. I mean, him and Chris Brazel seem to have this connection with each other where,
Agreed.
I mean, Brazel had a great day as well. I mean, I also want to throw Gunnar Stockton into the good here.
Yeah, facts.
I know he's getting a little bit overlooked because his stats weren't as good as Joey Aguilar's. But that dude stepped up late in the fourth quarter and overtime. His execution was brilliant. And then late in the fourth quarter, they have a 4th and 6 from, just outside of field goal range. And he makes a big pass for a touchdown, ends up sending it to overtime. Gunnar Stockton was really good. He's a young dude. Well, I know we saw him last year, a couple of times, and definitely in the bowl game when he had to. But I mean, Gunnar Stockton played a great game too. He's getting overshadowed by Joey Aguilar. The bad to me is you can't miss that 43-yard field goal with 3 seconds left.
Especially as bad as he missed it.
Yeah, I mean, he missed it by a good 7-10 yards. You cannot do that. The ugly to me, and I hate this because I do like this dude, but the ugly to me was Josh Heupel getting conservative at the end of the game, just like you talked about, run, field goal. And all he had to do was let Joey Aguilar drop back one time, and they're probably getting a first down because neither one of these defenses were stopping each other. Dalton, I think you had texted me during the end of this game, and you were like, is this a Big 12 game? Because they were just scoring like crazy, and both of these offenses were just moving the ball up and down the field. So, but you can't get conservative at that point in the game when your whole game plan has been to attack, and then all of a sudden you just fall on your sword and get all conservative, and it costs you. It costs you that game. You get 8-10 more yards, and that 43-yard field goal turns into a field goal in the low to mid 30s, and there's a really good chance that Max Gilbert's making that field goal. You cannot be conservative, especially in a big game against Georgia, who you hadn't beat in – was it 2016? I think is what they said the last time was Tennessee beat Georgia. You have to go and take that game and not look back.
Yeah. Don't you want to have the mindset of like when they got that strip sack, that stadium was nuts. You had it right there. And if I'm Josh Heupel, again, easier said than done, I want to talk to my offense quick, and I want to say, we go win the game right now.
Yeah,
you've got your stadium behind you. You've got all the momentum. Everybody on that offensive side is confident right now because you only got to go like 40 yards. Like, I'm just telling them, we're going to go win the game right now. We're not going to sit on the ball.
I have 3 words that I'm screaming in that huddle. Leave no doubt. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't leave doubt. You go force it down their throat. You score a touchdown. This game's over. They have no chance you score a touchdown right here. And he didn't do it. He got conservative, and they end up losing. That's a big loss.
For sure. Speaking of a big loss, miss holding call or not, this was how you end a prime time game on Saturday night, Texas A&M versus Notre Dame. I'm going to start off good, bad, and ugly with you, Brandon. What are you thinking here?
I mean, the good to me is just clutch performance by A&M. These are 2 teams I feel like in the past several years that at least Dalton and I, and Anthony, maybe you as well, probably haven't given as much credit as they've deserved.
Sure.
But A&M was just clutch. The final drive, that touchdown pass by Marcel Reed to Nate Borkircher, however you say his name, Borkshire, 13 seconds left to just salt that game away was awesome. Another good, Mario Carver, the wide receiver for Texas A&M, 7 receptions, 207 yards. Yep. I mean, just crazy good. Notre Dame didn't seem like they could cover him. I'd have probably thrown the ball at him 15 times because he was open on every play, it seemed like. To me, the bad also goes to A&M for me. The bad was just so much sloppy stuff. 13 penalties for 86 yards. Coming really close to giving up big plays. They took a couple of big plays away. Special teams, field positions issues. Like, they just had a lot of sloppy stuff. Luckily for them, they came out with a win. But those 13 penalties, that could have been huge later on down the line, especially once they get into SEC play. If they have 13 penalties in a game, there's a pretty good chance if that's a ranked team, they're going to have a hard time winning that game. Yeah. The ugly to me was just the injury scare in the first half where safety Bryce Anderson was carted off the field for a moment. I know when he went down, he wasn't moving at all. It was good when they came back out at halftime. They interviewed Jimbo Fisher, and he said he did have movement in all 4 of his extremities, and so he was doing fine. I know when he went off the field, he was laying there and he gave a thumbs up to the fans, but just crazy. That's scary, man. I love football, and it's a very fun, but it can be a very violent game. And when something like that happens, I don't care who it is. It can be my most hated player on the other team, and you just don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Elko, by the way.
Oh, I said Jim, that's a little look.
Had it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good job, Mike Elko.
Good, bad, ugly for you, Dalton, in this game.
Yeah, honestly, really similar to Unks. I mean, A&M had to erase 5 different deficits throughout this game. And I remember thinking, because they were one of my picks this week. So I remember thinking at the very beginning of the game, gosh, man, Notre Dame just looks solid at home. A&M is sloppy. This could get ugly. And then it's 17-14, and then it's 24-14, and then it's 21-24, and they just kept fighting back. Marcel Reed hitting Borkershire, I think is how you say his last name, which really cool moment because my brother-in-law was in town and they were high school teammates. And so to see him watch that last moment was really cool because Hunter was just filled with joy watching his boy
for sure
catch a game-winning touchdown pass.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That was really cool. But yeah, I think the fact that they were able to stay resilient through that entire game when it looked like they were not going to win this game. The bad, Notre Dame's special teams, the fumbled snap, the missed opportunities. It changed the last drive for Texas A&M, and you could tell because they had a couple of different 4th down moments. They had a penalty where it was going to be 4th and 16, and they found a way to convert it. You went from we're going to have to go get a touchdown and an extra point to get this game to overtime to a touchdown essentially wins this game, and that was their mindset, and they had it over and over and over again that game. Notre Dame lost this one. I felt like they just kept handing Texas A&M opportunity after opportunity. And that's the thing is Texas A&M, that's the bad for them. If they're this sloppy, they are not going to be able to win SEC games. You want to interject there?
I mean, I don't think either one of us actually mentioned. I'm going to say another ugly thing is dropping a perfect snap on an extra point.
Yeah.
That ends up making you lose the game for Notre Dame. I mean, I feel sorry for that dude because I know everybody makes mistakes and everybody makes bad mistakes at some point. But, I mean, that literally cost them at least a chance at overtime.
Yeah, that's your special teams unit. And
yeah, special teams are important.
That's, I mean, that once again lost a game. And then the ugly for me is the loss for Notre Dame not being in a conference. And I know that USC jumped in the top 25 this week, and I know they're on Notre Dame's schedule. But we also know that USC may jump right back out of the top 25.
Yeah, true.
And there's a good chance that Notre Dame will play one, if any, ranked teams the rest of the season. And now you've got 2 losses. You're hurting yourself. I mean, I don't want to hear conversation about you should be a playoff team. I don't want to hear it. You have an opportunity every year at Notre Dame to set your own schedule up. You don't have to worry about who you're going to have to play in your conference. You get to set it up, and you chose to go on the road to Miami, take a bye week, and then host Texas A&M. Now, you may not have, when you scheduled it, known how good either team was going to be, but you had to know just from rich tradition and history that was going to be a tough way to start your season. Sure. And if you lost both of them, you weren't setting yourself up for great success moving forward. I want to go ahead and say it. Notre Dame does not deserve to be in the playoff talk the rest of the year.
No, they're out.
Agreed. That the football, they took a piece of the football from that game-winning touchdown pass, went into a Topps card for a 101.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they took part of the ball, and it's an autographed card too. So you can buy the one without that stuff, and then you may get that one if you order the card. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Moving over to Vanderbilt versus South Carolina. Second verse, same as the first, or in this case, season. Vandy, the new upset team. Dalton, going with you to start this one.
Yeah, and put this with an asterisk because what I didn't watch this game. I was paying attention to it, but there were other good games that I was watching. Didn't realize that I'm blanking on quarterback from Lenore Sellers. I didn't realize he went out with an injury. So it makes sense to me that South Carolina got shut out in the second half. But, I mean, it was a dominant defensive second half for Vanderbilt, and that's the good for them. I mean, you take advantage of opportunities. I don't know what happened to Lenore Sellers. I hope he's good and able to come back the rest of the season, but they just had multiple turnovers. They stalled out on drives, and it was in big key moments in the fourth quarter when they had opportunities to advance the ball, give themselves chances to win, those type of things. So I'm going to give it to Vandy's defense for getting the shutout in the second half and putting their offense in a chance to win. They also had big moments, so their offense took advantage of it. And I thought that, if anything, even if Lenore Sellers is out, South Carolina has a really physical defense, but Vanderbilt matched that. They had a big 44-yard touchdown run by a backup running back, and that just kind of helped seal things for them. So the good is Vanderbilt in this one. It's the bad is the fact that Lenore Sellers goes down, and how do you control that? I mean, you're putting a backup quarterback in a situation where it's really, really tough. It sucks. Lenore Sellers was a Heisman candidate, was the thing that made this offense go. You take him out of a conference game, and all of a sudden things look a lot different for you. So they really need him back for the rest of the season if they're going to be competitive in the SEC. The ugly for me for this game, this was a 16-year streak broken by Vanderbilt. They hadn't beat South Carolina in 16 years.
Wow.
That's tough. I mean, again, put it with an asterisk.
Vanderbilt, though.
Yeah. Put it with an asterisk because, again, I hate the fact that it happened when they lost their stud quarterback. So it's really tough for me. But your defense has got to find ways to make plays. They couldn't pick the team up when they needed, and so you end up losing a close one to Vanderbilt, who has been upset central in the SEC over the past couple of years. But I guess that happens when you have a 35-year-old quarterback.
35-year-old quarterback.
Sorry, I'm still bitter about the fact that this dude's playing in college sports. I don't like that you can just drop a lawsuit down because you're not going to make money anymore because you're out of eligibility. And now it's changed the entire landscape of college sports in general, but whatever.
Over to you, B.
I mean, my good was just the Vanderbilt domination. I mean, they dominated on both sides of the ball. Like Dalton said earlier, that backup running back Lassiter had the 44-yard touchdown run. They snapped the 16-game losing streak. Vanderbilt has a clean 3-0 start. Like, that's pretty crazy, especially with one of those games actually being a conference game. Vanderbilt looks really good. Diego Pavia has been doing really good. My bad is just, South Carolina losing Lenore Sellers to a concussion / head injury, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know if you guys realized, but that was actually on a play where the defender was flagged for targeting, where Lenore Sellers got hurt at the end of the first half. So, I mean, that I don't know. It's a little different for me, I guess, because it was targeting. I didn't feel like it was just a blatant blow, but it was definitely helmet to helmet contact after he had let the ball go. And so goes out with the concussion in protocol, basically, and will not return. They think he may be okay for next week's game, but, I mean, we'll just see. The ugly for me is how South Carolina looked without Lenore Sellers. Like, their backup quarterback could not generate any sustained offense. Vanderbilt's defense was all over them. I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a wake-up call for not maybe knowing how bad your depth was, or that you didn't have any depth at those important positions. And so, I mean, good on Vanderbilt for, moving things along. They had a big year last year. kind of burst back on the scene last year with a couple of big wins, and they're trying to keep it going.
Some really big ones. Alabama.
Yeah.
It's huge last year. Crow being eaten after many picked the Tigers to win it all this year. During preseason, they picked them anyway. Georgia Tech versus Clemson. Good, bad, and ugly. Staying with you, Brandon.
Man, the good for me was, there's a couple things. Haynes King, he's 20 for 28 for 211 yards. Didn't throw for a touchdown, but didn't throw an interception. Also carried the ball 25 times for 103 yards, which, like we talked about earlier, I don't feel like that's sustainable. We've talked about that with John Mateer. But he had 25 carries for 103 yards and a touchdown. Georgia Tech pulls off a clutch, long 55-yard field goal as time expired with their kicker, Aiden Burr. And, big pressure moment, long kick, was a great kick. Just keeps building Georgia Tech's confidence. They are starting really good, really, really good. The bad to me was the two Clemson turnovers just halted drives. The first turnover in the first half, they had already driven like 60-something yards. They fumbled the ball. So they're probably in field goal range at that point, which 3 points would be the difference in this game. Clemson just did not seem to be able to keep things going. And their offense has struggled. Their offense has struggled all year. We know that, which kind of leads me to the ugly. Like, Clemson's just not been a top-tier team. Coming into the season, like you said, many people picked them to win the national championship. Many people picked Cade Klubnik to win the Heisman. Clemson's just fading, and they seem to be fading fast. Last year wasn't a great year, but it wasn't a horrible year. This year is starting out not good. Their ACC hopes take a hit. And I was listening to the radio on my way home, and one of the guys was like, what's going to happen, right? We're going to turn around, and they're going to end up 9-3, and they're going to win the ACC, and they're going to end up being in the playoffs. I was like, it very well could, but they have not proven to me that they can go in the ACC and even win the ACC, because they have just not looked good so far. I think, Dabo's really got to get a hold of that team and start them moving in a little different direction. And I don't think that means a Cade Klubnik benching or anything like that, but something's got to happen. And this Clemson defense has to be able to step up and support their offense just a little bit more, and I think they're going to be fine.
Over to you, Dalton.
Yeah, I got two goods. Haynes King, for one. You mentioned it. 211 passing yards, 103 rushing yards. I don't want that to be my quarterback rushing it 25 times. But when it's Georgia Tech's rushing it 25 times, getting upset, that's fine with me.
Yeah. Right.
The other one, Brent Key, head coach, Georgia Tech.
Love it.
The announcers were talking about it. They were at the practice the day before, and they were working on kicking a last-second field goal with no timeouts. They were working on that the day before the game. Rush the special teams unit out there and execute it to perfection. Loved it. That was just pure to me. Loved it.
Good special teams wins games. We've talked about that multiple times already tonight.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Loved it. The bad is Cade Klubnik. Two just awful turnovers. Crucial interception in the red zone that stopped a scoring opportunity. A fumble early in the game that led to a scoring drive. He's a senior. He's only got 3 touchdowns on the season. He's got 3 interceptions on the season. Not a great start for the 1 and 2 Tigers. And the ugly for me, you mentioned it. They were projected number 1 in the ACC. Mm-hmm. So they were projected to win the ACC. I know many picked them to win the national championship, which that just made no sense to me. I understand picking them to win the ACC, but it almost feels sometimes like, after he lost Brent Venables, who was incredible as a defensive coordinator at Clemson. Just phenomenal. You're coaching a team in 2025 like it's still 2017.
Right.
And that's really tough to do. So, yeah, I think that where they're headed in the ACC, again, if they prove me wrong, great. But I disagree with the fact that they're going to end 9-3 and win the ACC. There's too many good teams this year in the ACC that aren't going to drop games like this.
I don't think they were. I don't think they are. That comment was completely tongue in cheek when the guy said it on the radio. But I mean, that's just a kind of a what if, but kind of a funny one because it made me stop and think for half a second.
Yeah, it would be funny if you had picked them. All of this happened, and then you came and said that, and it didn't say that, and it did happen. If you're thinking I got to eat crow now, and they come back and win it all, but that's not likely. But fun in the good, bad, and the ugly this week. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to talk about after this weekend. This Friday, Division 4A or 4A, Division 2, Salado, Texas Eagles. Here where I'm from, my daughter, along with about 1,000 other girls, will be sporting oversized Texas mums. It is homecoming in Salado. That's not the kind of homecoming we're talking about for Jackson Arnold, though. 2:30 ABC, the 3-0 Auburn Tigers, or War Eagle. I've never understood how that worked. Good in practice. Jackson Arnold squad's going to run into the natural, lush green Owen Field and get booed out of the building. Brandon, what does OU need to do to send the Tigers home with their tail between their legs?
Man, OU's got to just continue doing what they're doing. I mean, they're playing like a really good team right now. And the defense is to that borderline E word that I'm not going to use yet, but maybe give me a couple more weeks and I might use the E word about the defense. I mean, they are so good right now. OU's not giving up, only giving up 96 yards rushing per game. They're only giving up 84.7 yards passing per game. I mean, something's got to give here if Auburn has a chance to come in and win this game. I mean, OU is playing amazing. Keep the penalties down, keep the turnovers down. Yeah. It's kind of crazy, really. I mean, you look at the passing and rushing comparisons between Arnold and Mateer, and they are so crazy similar.
Right.
They are very similar right now. You look at Jackson Arnold has 192 rushing yards to John Mateer's 161. The thing that is the most lopsided is the passing yards. Jackson Arnold's only got 501 passing yards to Mateer's 944.
Almost 1,003 games. Yeah.
Yeah, but Mateer has also thrown 3 picks, and Jackson Arnold hasn't thrown any. So it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be fun. I hope it's fun. If we get to the second quarter or the second half and I'm struggling, it may not be as fun as I'm talking about right now. But, I mean, the key battles to me is the quarterback play and offensive rhythm for John Mateer. Like, if they can get in an offensive rhythm where they're having some luck on the ground and they can mix in the throws and they can mix in a little bit of the John Mateer rushing, then I think this offense has a good chance to be really good. Both defensive fronts are pretty solid.
Yeah.
If we can establish any kind of run outside of John Mateer, I don't think Auburn has a chance. If Blaylock goes for another 100 yards or one of our running backs steps up out of nowhere and goes for 100 yards, I really don't think Auburn has a chance unless we have a bunch of turnovers, bunch of silly mistakes on special teams, that kind of stuff. But Hugh Freeze and Brent Venables are both known for making adjustments mid-game, and it doesn't even have to be halftime. It can be in the middle of a drive or in the middle of one of the halves. And the one that makes those better adjustments, I think, is going to have the upper hand, and I think those teams are going to probably come out on top. Keep it clean, not a lot of penalties, not a lot of turnovers, and you'll be all right.
Dalton, what are you doing at 2:30 on Saturday?
2:30 on Saturday, I am probably going to be on FaceTime with Unc.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be ready to watch some football. Here's the deal. If you listened to our podcast the last 2 years, you'll know that I'm not saying this out of bias. I'm not saying this as a homer. I was not a fan of Jackson Arnold. That's fair.
Yep.
But looking at take stats out while there's some similarities there. From what they've shown us this year, Oklahoma's a better football team than Auburn. And I got to catch a little bit of Auburn, South Alabama, and Auburn really did struggle to dominate South Alabama. For example, South Alabama had 310 total yards of offense against Auburn's defense, and Auburn only put up 337 total yards of offense against South Alabama. They had 170 passing yards to Jackson Arnold's 142. They were able to rush for 140 yards on them, and Auburn did rush for 195. But I just don't see – I see Auburn with Jackson Arnold as I saw Oklahoma last year with Jackson Arnold.
Jackson Arnold.
Like, when you're going to play teams that are definitely inferior to you and you just struggle to dominate them, I look at this OU team and I'm like, last year's team didn't dominate Temple the way that this year's team did.
Correct.
So I have the expectation. It's not like John Mateer was in the quarterback room with Jackson Arnold. He doesn't have to take this personal, like I've got to do something to beat Jackson. He wasn't in the quarterback room with him.
Right.
And we've said it. John Mateer plays John Mateer football. So if we can establish a run game, he's going to do what he does. Our defense has just been solid. Like, I really do see that this can be a lopsided game if Oklahoma will play Oklahoma football and not worry about the fact that Jackson Arnold's on the other side of the ball. Just play our game, play football. I fully expect Oklahoma in Norman to dominate.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm
excited.
Yeah, I mean, I felt a little apprehension going into the Michigan game, coming out of that one victorious. Felt good. I watched a little bit of Jackson Arnold play against Baylor in the very first game of the season, and we thought, I remember watching going, some of this looks exactly like last year, and then some of it is improved over last year. But it definitely looks like the guy who was good in practice and not on the field for the most part. However, stats do look a little different this year than they did last year. But we'll.
It was frustrating last year when you'd hear coaches make comments about, well, you should see what this guy's doing in practice.
Yep.
And we're like, great. You should see what he's doing on Saturdays because it's not adding up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking over picks from last week as you get set to do from this week. And there were a couple of variances, UGA and Tennessee, USF and Miami. Also, yeah, that was it. But we ended up 5-5 at the end of the regulars. And then you both nailed your underdogs in the master lock. That puts you at a total of 9 each. So you were tied for the week. However, Brandon's still on top, 26-23 over Dalton, heading into picks this week, starting with Texas Tech, traveling to Utah. Big noon kickoff on Fox. Dalton, I start with you. Who you got here?
I like the upset here. I like Tech. Utah's opened up as a 3.5 favor. I think that they have just been so consistent on offense that they're going to put up a lot of points. And it's the Big 12. So we know that it's going to be a high scoring game. First one to 50 wins.
That's right. Brandon, who you got?
Yeah, same. I mean, Baron Morton is playing ridiculous right now. In 3 games, he's thrown for 923 yards and 11 touchdowns. I mean,
sounds familiar.
Texas Tech. I'm calling for Texas Tech in the upset as well.
Yeah. Michigan versus Nebraska, 2:30 on CBS or Paramount Plus. Take your pick there. Brandon, start with you.
I think we're probably going to be opposite on this one because I think Dalton has to be. I'm going to go with Michigan. I think Bryce Underwood had a really good game last week. They kind of stepped back into that role where I think they're probably a little bit closer to than the way we made them look. I don't know that Nebraska's defense is definitely not as good as OU's. I know Dylan Raiola has had a good season, and he's playing really good right now. He's 72 for 94. He's thrown for 829 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think Michigan is going to go ahead and cover the spread and win this game.
Dalton, you sleeping in bed or on the couch?
It's funny because I Mick and I made our picks together already this week, and I told her this is my one time I'm going to give Nebraska a chance this year. So, yeah, I mean, you said the stats, Unc. Raiola's playing great. Problem is, they haven't played anybody.
Right, they've played nobody.
They played Houston Christian, which I didn't even know they had a football team.
That's a school?
So, at one point, it was like Houston Baptist, and they just changed pretty recently.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I think that after seeing Michigan play, you know that Bryce Underwood is just a freshman QB still, and he doesn't have a ton of weapons yet. And so I think that Matt Rule is a really good coach, and he's proven that. So I'm going to rock with Nebraska to win this one at home.
I didn't realize that team went non-denominational. I screwed up that joke. All right, Illinois, Indiana. 6:30, prime time for NBC. Dalton, who are you picking in this one?
Man, see, this is the tough part about you hitting us random with these games, man. Mm-hmm. This is a good one. But I think I'm going to go with another upset. I like Illinois in this one on the road. It's only a 3.5 favor at home for Indiana, and Illinois has looked pretty solid this year. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I haven't watched a ton of these teams other than highlights, but Indiana, I think, rode their wave last year. And right now, I think that their ranking is based off of what they did a lot of last year. And so give me Illinois to stay undefeated with the win on the road.
Who you got, B?
Man, I kind of looked at this one because I was like, he's probably going to end up picking this one. It's 2 top 25 teams. But, man, I'm kind of with Dalton. I mean, I'm picking Illinois, but the stats for both of these teams are so even. It's crazy. I mean, you could literally 10 yards difference in stats between all their leading rushers, passers, receivers. It's insane. I'm going to go ahead and go with the upset as well, though. I think Illinois is just a little bit better right now. They're going to go in and take this one.
All right, 11 a.m. on ESPN2, SMU versus TCU. Talk about a travel game. Ooh, what, whole 15 miles? Something like that?
Yeah. Man, I did not look at this one, so I'm going to definitely just be shooting in the dark on this one.
Okay.
And I'm first, so I'm not even able to pull up a lot of stats. I think SMU is trying to prove that they are not garbage like Baylor kind of made them look like in that loss against Baylor a couple of weeks ago. I think SMU is going to come out and win this game. We'll go with that.
Okay, SMU. What about you, Dalton?
We're going to go opposite. I'm going to go with TCU in this one at home to cover, and it's just because they're at home. I mean, I don't know that we know a ton yet about even Baylor or TCU or SMU, and I mean, they gave up 10 points to Missouri State, which I feel like that should be an automatic shutout anyways. So I think I'm going to go with the home team here. Give me TCU.
Same about my pen just ran out. All right. All right. So that takes us to the West Coast, 6:30 on Fox. Arizona State versus Baylor. Staying with you, Dalton.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona State at home. I know they're struggling a little bit, but just the fact that Baylor's got to go all the way out to the West Coast. I mean,
it's in Waco.
It's at Baylor.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. Sorry, West Coast team. Sorry. 6:30. Never mind. I shouldn't have said West Coast. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. I see that in Waco.
Yep.
Still going to rock with Arizona State. I know they dropped the one to Mississippi State, but as one of the favors to win the Big 12, I don't trust the fact that Baylor is good again, and they're going to have to they're going to have to earn that again.
Will this one do it?
Maybe.
All right. B, what do you think?
Oh no, I'm sticking with Baylor on this one. Sawyer Robertson has been an absolute beast. 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's already thrown for 1,070 yards on the season through 3 games. I think Arizona State's not the same without Cam Scatabo. We actually saw him yesterday playing on Sundays, and dude is just as much of a beast as he was at Arizona State in the NFL, which is hard to do, especially at the running back position.
Yeah.
I think they lost a lot there. I'm going to go ahead and go with Baylor to go ahead and win this one at home, probably covering that spread, I would imagine.
11 a.m. on ESPN, Syracuse and Clemson. Too much orange for me. B, what are you thinking?
Man, I'm going to go with Clemson. I think they're going to have one of those bounce back games. I'm kind of in the same spot as Dalton was with his Nebraska pick earlier. This might be the last time I ever pick them this year if they fail this one. But, I mean, it's Syracuse, man. I know their quarterback has had a great season so far, also thrown for over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, a couple of interceptions. But I think Clemson's going to come out with their pants on fire. I think Dabo's going to light something into them, and they're going to go win this one at home.
I can be accurate on this one. East Coast game, Syracuse, Clemson. What are you thinking, Dalton?
Yeah, I'm with Unc. Syracuse really struggled against Tennessee in the first game of the season. Clemson had LSU. I mean, and they played them to a 7-point game. So even though Clemson's struggling, I still think they're better than the Syracuse team, who also then struggled to UConn and then beat Colgate. So just pure experience. You've got to ride the senior quarterback here, even though I don't think he's playing well. But they almost got it done against Georgia Tech. I think both teams are better than Syracuse. So I think that Clemson still wins this one.
All right. Florida versus Miami. This is 6:30. Primetime game on ABC. Staying with you, Dalton, to give the first pick. Florida, Miami. Miami? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely Miami.
It's an easy pick. All right. One last one I think I know, but we're going to ask it anyway. 2:30 on ABC. Brandon, staying with you. Auburn and Oklahoma.
Boomer Sooner, baby. Oklahoma's going to win this one. They're going to cover that spread, which I'm kind of surprised the spread's as low as it is.
5.5.
Oklahoma's going to win this.
6.5 is what I see.
Oh, I saw 5.5 earlier today, but Oklahoma's going to win this one, I think, by 2 scores.
Okay. Dalton?
Yep.
Same.
Oklahoma. No doubt in my mind.
All right. Time for your master locks. Dalton, you want to start this one?
Oklahoma's covering the 6.5. That's my master lock.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. My master lock, I'm going to pick another underdog. We both talked about it. We both picked this team earlier. I'm going to pick Texas Tech and Baron Morton's to beat Utah and cover that. What is it at? 3.5?
Okay. So
that's what it was, I think, whenever I looked at it. It's either 3.5 or 5.5.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Whatever it is, I think Texas Tech's going to cover that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Texas Tech to cover that.
All right, there you go. There were some differences there. So this could, Dalton, some instances here, you get some of them points back. Could.
Or I could be way down at the end of this week.
Buried.
Well, as long as I don't hit my master lock and get double.
That's true. That's true.
You're going to have to win a couple extra ones. But if I lose that master lock, then you're good. Because OU's covering.
We both pick Tech in the regular pick, so it doesn't hurt me.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Exactly.
There you go.
Guys, this is fun. I love this new format we're doing. We're having a great time.
Hope you guys do too.
Yeah, definitely do. Definitely do. We got a big game coming up this weekend. Hopefully we can come up with the win. Send Jackson Arnold. He'll leave the stadium crying again, but will not be going back to Norman. He can go back to Auburn.
Yes.
You know what they say, guys.
The weekend is good,
but the midweek is always better.
And boom goes the dynamite.